Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Natasha. This is Free Pattern Friday. I can't believe it's the weekend already. It hasn't especially gone really quickly because I've not had the best of weeks, but I just can't believe it's Friday already. Anyway, I haven't done any crochet this weekend or this week so far, so I'm hoping this weekend I'll be able to get some done to be able to show you on Monday. But as it stands at the moment, it's either going to be a non-existent video on Monday or it's going to be extremely quick. Anyway, of course I've got to do a video because I've got to draw the next lot of squares, haven't I? So I will have to do one, but I'm just not sure what content I'm going to have at the moment. It's just one of those trying times in my life where I'm trying to juggle everything and it's just a little bit tricky for me. But I haven't had as much time as I usually do to source patterns either. But the ones that I have got are with Christmas in mind. I've got some decorations, I've got some things for the home, and I've also got a wearable. And so I've got nothing in between, just mainly because I just haven't been fully focused, and I just wanted to make sure that I had something for you to look at on the Friday really. So let's just get going. Okay, so first I have got a Crochet Enchanter planter. And I like this one because I like the flower design and it's quite simple. So even if you're a beginner, it will be quite easy. Now the yarn they're suggesting to use is the Red Heart All-in-One Flower Power, which is, I think it's the same as the like the Granny Square one, because of the where the colour kind of stops in the right time to be able to do it. But if you do want to purchase the same, it's the colourway of Flower Field. But if not, just use up your scraps. It doesn't matter. But I think this would be lovely for any plant loving person to have hanging up in their home. And it's just something that's homemade and quite unique. The hook that you need, because I'm assuming that because this is a medium 4-weight yarn, they're suggesting a 5.5mm hook, and the skill level is easy. The measurements are to fit around 6 inches or 15cm diameter plant pot. The gauge is 12 centimeters. I always seem to say that. 12 single crochets and 15 rows, which equates to the 4-inch gauge swatch, because the motifs are 6 inches square. The notes are that the motifs begin with colour 1, which is the shortest colorette from the centre of the pull skein, leaving the 4 inches, a 4-inch tail to weave in. Second and third rounds will be worked in colour 2, and 4, 5 and 6 will be worked in the colour 3. That's if you're using that Pacific yarn. If there's too much colour left at the end of the first round, which is colour 1, or the third round colour 2, then pull back some stitches and lightly loosen the gauge to rework the stitches and finish the colour change. At the end of the final round, the motif should measure 6 inches square, with the long tail at least 24 inches remaining for seaming. Adjust the gauge as needed whilst working the 4th, 5th and 6th round to maintain the 6-inch square to the finished for the finished size. And you have to make 3 of the motifs, and the notes are that that was the instruction notes, and now this is the notes that the chain 3 at the beginning of the round counts as the double crochet. but the chain 2s at the beginning of the round does not count as the stitch. Join all the rounds with a slip stitch to the first stitch unless otherwise stated. And that, my darlings, is the plant pot. Hold it. And you can do it in any colour even, but I quite like the colours together. And now I have got a couple of dishcloths. I don't know where the other one's gone though, so hold on a moment. I don't know what, I must have put it at the back of the pile. So just hold on a little tinkle. Unless I didn't print it. Not sure. Yes, yes I did. Here he is, hiding at the back. Okay, so let me just put that one back there. Okay, so I've got 2 Christmassy dishcloths because, of course, although I did, I don't remember which ones, but I know that I did do some for Christmas in July. But even if I did, a recap isn't too bad, is it? So we have got the Reindeer dishcloth. It's approximately 8 inches wide. The gauge is 6 centimetres and 17 rows to make the 4-inch gauge that's needed. And it goes straight into the instructions, but they're suggesting to use the Lily sugaring cream and a 3.75mm hook. That is in fact my favourite hook to use. I love the 3.75. But anyway, there he is. What a cheeky little chap. And it would just mean that if you're washing dishes, or just even if you've got a dishwasher and you're just wiping down the sides, it's just something that makes it all festive. And I really did think that this one was such a cutie that I had to show you. But the measurements are 8 inches, so that's fine, and the skill level is easy. And then it just goes straight in. You chain 2, and then rather than doing the magic hook, they're suggesting to chain 2 and then do 6 single crochets into the second hook from the second chain from the hook, and then you just join with a slip stitch and carry on. So it's all pretty simple. You don't have to worry about magic hook, magic ring even. The magic ring took me years to sort out in my head how to get it to go and things. So if you're not quite au fait with it, then of course chaining 2 is easy. Right. Now the second one is this one. Although he isn't really that cute, is he? I just thought he was a bit bizarre with his massive, great big black eyes. But of course I just wanted to give you a variation of dishcloths really. But again, it means that even if you've got the children wiping down for you on Christmas Day or something, helping out, it gives them something fun to do it with. And so this is the snowman dishcloth. It's approximately 11 inches high and 9 inches wide, so it is quite a big one. But that's ideal if you've got massive pots and pans, isn't it? It's fine. Again, it's Lily sugaring cream and a 5mm hook for this one. All the size of needed to obtain the gauge. I suppose in that sense, if you used a smaller one like that one, then it would work up smaller anyway. And the gauge is 13 double crochets and 6 rows to obtain the 4 inches or the 10cm gauge. And it just goes straight, like I say, straight into the instructions. But it does say that finishing sewing the eyes and the buttons to the snowman as shown in the picture. Divide the plies of A into 2-ply, which is half the thickness, with 2 plies of A embroidered arms, with the embroider the mouth using magic knots. And that's it. So there is 2 variations of dishcloths for you as well. Let me put that one over there. So if I do that and that, then I will know which order it goes in. Sticking with the snowmen, I found these which are using Red Heart Super Saver and a 3.75 hook again, and they're approximately 5.5 inches tall, and the gauge is 16 single crochets and 19 rows, and the notes are that the head and the body of the snowmen are worked in one piece. It says do not join the ends of the rounds, work in continuous rounds, which are spirals, and then move the marker up as each round is completed. And then it goes straight into the pattern, but the skill level is easy, and I thought that these were really quite cute to hang on the tree or from a shelf or something, but I just thought they look cute, so I'll add them as well. There's nothing on that side. It just says finishing the facial features, use the photograph as a guide, and embroider French knots for the French knots for the eyes and buttons, and for the nose you need to embroider a bullion stitch for the nose, in which case it shows you the bullion stitch, how to do it on there in the diagram, so it's all quite self-explanatory. And yet again we have a snowman again, but this is a mug hug, and I love this one. He looks very cute, and I thought that would be lovely if you were to buy a gift of a mug and put some hot chocolate in there, or just some favourite coffee or tea brand that someone drinks, but it would just be lovely to add a homemade touch to any mug. And this one, it says to cozy up with a hot cocoa or some other warm beverage. This mood-lifting crochet mug cozy is a great idea and made with easy care yarn. It can be washed and looks great for a long time. The designer is Michelle Wilcox, and the hug fits a 4-inch high mug with 3-inch top diameter and 2 bottom diameter. They're using Red Heart Super Saver, and the hook is 3.5. The gauge is 8 stitches to every 2 inches and 8 rows to make the 2 inches. It says check your gauge and use any size hook to obtain the gauge. Note that the hug size can easily be changed by adding or subtracting chains at the beginning of the wrap and adding or subtracting the rows at the end of the wrap, and then it goes straight in by chaining 14. And the assembly, you just use the photo as a guide and sew the nose in place with embroider French knots for the mouth and satin stitch eyes, with sewing the scarf around the bottom of the wrap about 1/2 inch up, gather the middle and tie together and sew to the scarf. Sew buttons in place on the back of the wrap and then weave in the ends. And it gives you the satin stitch, and it also gives you the diagram for French knots as well. And as we already know, because I spoke about it lots on the channel, the Red Heart Super Saver is a medium 4-weight yarn. And so there he is again, and I just thought it was really cute, so I had to show you. Okay, so now I've got some crochet gnomes, and it's a family of 5. We've got the snowman gnome, Santa, Christmas tree, the snowflake and the gingerbread gnome, and they look like they work up pretty quickly. And it's using lily, sugar and cream, and it gives you all the colours and things that you need in the main colour. Now of course if you're not using lily, sugar and cream, it doesn't matter, you can just copy the colours in any of the yarn of your choice, and then use the hook that you need to obtain you know, the size that's on the ball band. But again, this one says to use the 3.75 crochet hook, and like I say, the materials are as stated, and you will also need stitch markers, fibre fill and a yarn needle. There is a diagram for those of you that follow diagrams rather than written instructions, and the pattern came out on the 17th of January this year. It is approximately 7 inches tall, and the gauge is 20 single crochets and 18 rounds. The notes, instruction notes are to use the same body, hat, nose and beard pattern for each gnome. Pay careful attention to specific colours within the materials in the pattern section for each gnome. Move the marker as work progresses. And that's it. They're quite quick ones, aren't they? Right, so there they are. Now we're going to move on to a holiday chevron pillow. Now again, I'm not sure if I've done this one before or not, but I thought I would just recap even if I didn't, because I know I've showed lots of pillows, you know, pillowcases in the past, and so I just thought that this one, if you're looking to use to try the chevron pattern, then of course it's only a small amount to be practicing on rather than a whole blanket. Oh, I think my phone just did that stupid thing, because even though I moved, I stayed in the same place on the camera, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, so there is that one, and the crochet level skill is easy, and the designer is Jessie Raymond, and they're suggesting to use Red Heart Super Saver, a medium 4-weight yarn, of course use whichever one you want. The yarn quantities are sufficient to make both pillow covers, so everything that they state in the pattern is for the 2 that's in the picture. And the Susan Bates, they're suggesting to use Susan Bates crochet hook 5.5mm, yarn needle, 2 16 by 16 pillow forms, which is the actual pad, and it says the ever popular rippling chevron design is the perfect way to spruce up your surroundings during the Yuletide season. This easy pattern is fun to crochet in whatever colours that you use in your holiday decor. For matching holiday chevron throw, there is a pattern for it, and the number is LW4388, and I will put it in the description box below just in case you're interested in seeing that as well. The special stitches are double crochet 2 together, and there's a stripe sequence of 2 lots that you can follow if that's what you want to do. And it says finishing with matching colour yarn, sew straight side edges to the piece together to form a tube, flatten the tube and then seam at one side edge, slide the seam over until the peaks on the top layer line up with the valleys of the lower layer. Sew the top of the rippled edge closed, insert the pillow form, sew the lower rippled edge closed and weave in the ends. Now I know that it's really tricky if you don't have a way of taking the cover off, so of course before you sew it up you could add buttons to make sure that you are able to undo it, or even add a zip if you're really good at putting zips in and you know what you're doing. I, on the other hand, can't do anything like that. I can sew buttons on, but I can't do zips. So that is an idea if you really want to learn a new stitch, or if you've got some pillows in mind for someone special. Now I'm going back to decorations again for a little bit, and this is the flying saucer snowman, and I don't think it's, no, it hasn't got a date of when the pattern was released, but it's designed by Nancy Anderson, and it's Red Heart amigurumi yarn in the colourway Unicorn, and I'm assuming that by that it means that, I think I've seen the bee amigurumi one, which means it is quite a thin yarn. Yes, it's super fine, which is just #1 weight, and it's intermediate. And basically the colours are much the same as the granny stitch, granny square stitch yarn, and it will just move up as the colours end, but it should work it right, and it should look exactly like that. Now my phone is playing me up a lot, so I'm hoping it will not show for you guys. So I do apologise, but I'm 20 minutes in and I don't want to go back. Anyway, I just hope it's watchable enough. The yarn hook, crochet hook that they're suggesting to use is 2.25 because of the fact it is very thin, but of course it doesn't matter. You can always use whatever you like and it'll just work up a little bit bigger. You need a stitch marker, some stuffing, 2 1/2-inch safety eyes, 4 1-inch pom-poms in the colour of your choice for earmuffs and at the ends of the scarf, an orange toothpick for the nose. Well, of course, if you've got small children, you ain't going to do that anyway. A small piece of Chanel stem in the colour of your choice. Again, you don't need to worry about that. I think what they mean by a Chanel stem is actually a pipe cleaner. For the headband portion of the earmuffs, 6mm rhinestone sequins or beads, craft glue for flying saucer lights, and some glue sticks. Optional, a piece of heavy cardboard, 5-inch square for the stuffing and the stiffening of the ornament. It's approximately 5 inches, 22 single crochets for the gauge, over 24 rows, and the notes are: the head of the snowman and the top half of the flying saucer are worked in the one piece of the top section. The lower half of this flying saucer is worked separately for the bottom section, and the top and the bottom sections are sewn together and stuffed while sewing. Before you start, separate the different colours sections of the yarn as follows. Push the rings of the colour out from the centre, find the point where the colour changes and break the yarn. Repeat this process for the remaining yarn colours. Wind each colour into separate balls. And it says, please note to change colour, work the last 2 loops on the hook and draw the new colour through the last 2 loops and proceed, and keep the colour changing on the wrong side of the work. But I did think it was quite cute to make. Now this one is a Jingle Bells door hanger. Now I've done wall hangings because I've been asked for that, but I found the door hanger and I thought that it would be quite cool, and especially if you have some cats, because they'll be playing with it all the time. Anyway, I picked out this one because I thought it'd be quite fun, and it says, crochet a festive door hanger to welcome guests with the happy sound of jingle bells. Whatever colours you use, it is sure to add a happy note to your holidays. The skill level is intermediate, and the designer is Catherine Eng. The yarn is made, it is made with the yarn Red Heart Celebration. It's a medium 4-weight yarn and need a 5.5mm hook. Of course, you can use whatever yarn you like. Don't worry about that. and it says that the finished door hanger measures 7 inches. If you're using 4-weight yarn, it will measure 7 inches wide and 22 inches long. Divide the skein in half and work with the strands held together unless otherwise stated. Chain 3 at the beginning of the row or the round counts as the first double crochet unless otherwise stated. And to make the shell, it's 3 double crochets in indicated stitch or space. Then it gives you instructions for the hanger, the inside border, outside border, and then to finish. And to finish, it says using a 10-inch strand of C, follow the colour order shown in the photo and tie the bells into the centre strip at the centre shells on rows 3, 9, 15, 21, 27 and 33. Pull the ends of the yarn through the hole at the top and then tie the knot at the top of the bell. Pull the ends back, knot the back of the hanger and weave in the ends. But of course, if you're not using that yarn, then you can just use anything you like, from scraps to new balls, and then just do it in the colours that you like. Now I've got a snowflake garland for you. I do believe that I have done this one before, but again, I just thought I would refresh it, seeing as Christmas is coming, because you never know. And last week, or the week before, I did the crochet one that looked like just with the lines, the red and the white one. But this time I thought it would be good to show you snowflakes, just in case you wanted to do those. And the designer is Mary Jane Protus, and the snowflake garland measures 48 inches long and 3 3/4 wide. The Red Heart Super Saver as 1 skein white will make 4 to 5 garlands. The crochet hook is 3.75. You need a split lock stitch marker and a yarn needle. The gauge is 3 1/4 inches across for the smaller hook, with a smaller hook, and 4 inches across with the larger hook. Then it just tells you the 1st, the 2nd and the 3rd to the 15th snowflakes in the pattern. And again, it's medium 4-weight yarn with Red Heart Super Saver. And oh, it was last updated August 2019, so it is quite an old one. So there's that one. And now we've got some Christmas love hearts ornaments. Now I thought that they would be absolutely lovely on someone's tree, and they're so easy to work up if you just want to give a token gift. You've got to love the hearts. Make them for your tree to decorate packages or hang in other places. Make them for those you love. Colour choices are up to you. We just love the red hearts. Ornaments are 4.5 inches tall by 5 inches across, using Red Heart Holiday yarn, which is a medium 4-weight and a 5.5mm hook. Do not join the rounds. Instead, mark the beginning of each round with a stitch marker and move the marker up for each round. And that, my lovelies, is all I have to say for that one, because I think the picture says it all. And even the instructions aren't that long, because it is only very small. I really don't know what's wrong with my phone. I reset it as well before I even made this video, because I knew it was playing me up. Right, Crochet Granny gift card is next. Now, I thought this was quite cute, and if you've only got a tiny bit of time, these don't take very long at all, and you can just make them up, because it's only 2 rounds, and then sew them up. There's a diagram for the whip stitch to show you how to put it together, and it's using Red Heart Super Saver and a 5mm hook. For finishing, it says following assembly diagram on page 2, sew the motifs together using any colour through the back loops only, and with a whip stitch. And the measurements are that the motifs are only 1 1/4 inches square, and the finished sleeve is 2.5 by 3 3/4 inches, and you make 2 motifs of each colour. But again, if you've got a scrap project, you know, you've got some scrap yarn, then that would be absolutely fine. And it's just something homemade to put a card into. Oh, and there's also the diagram on the back. And now we have got some bottle things to put your bottles in. Now, even if you don't drink, you can still give J2O or something fizzy like lemonade or something like that in one of those posh bottles, like the like Tesco's premium brands, you know, or Morrison's the best, or Sainsbury's things. And so it doesn't have to be alcoholic, of course, but I thought that these would be really fun. And I've got 3 different ones to show you. I've got this one, which is a stripy one. If you like changing colours and it doesn't bother you, then I thought that one would be a lovely alternative, which I'll read to you in just a moment. And then we've got a plainer one, but again, you can do it in any colours you like. And then we've got the good old granny stitch one. So I just thought I would show you all 3 in case you found one of them that you really liked or would really like to try. So the granny square one is with Lily, Sugar and Cream, but of course it doesn't matter. I think I'd use DK and not worry about it, because although it might stretch a little bit, I think it's only going to be in there for a little tiny while, isn't it? Anyway, the measurements are approximately 16 inches tall by 12 inches circumference. The gauge is 15 single crochets to 16 rows, although for this I don't think you really need it. They suggest to use a 4mm hook, and the skill level is easy. There is diagrams at the back, and again another diagram for the whip stitch, and that is literally it. There's no other explanation for it. It's all pretty straightforward, but that is the granny square one. And then for this one we've got the design. It's designed by, did I tell you who that one was designed by, or did it not say? Nope, it didn't say. Okay, so this one is designed by Kathleen Sams, and the bottle cover measures 3 inches across and 12.5 inches high, and they're using Red Heart Eco Ways bamboo wool in and you need 2 balls in the colour Cheyenne or Cheyenne or even Cayenne. It's a 5mm hook, a stitch marker and a yarn needle that's needed, and the gauge is 1 to 5 rows, rounds 1 to 5, 3.5 inches across, and then you just go, it goes straight into the instructions, and it's a medium 4 weight if you want to use the yarn that they suggest. If not, you know what to do, just use it from your stash, it'd be fine. So there you go, and you can use any colour as well. And then this one here, like I showed you just now, is the Holiday Spirits bottle bag. Crochet a cheerful bag for the bottle to cheer you, a bottle of cheer for you to bring, of cheer you bring for hostess and a friend. For other seasons of the year, simply change the colours for an all year round gift giving idea. So there you go. It's Crochet Skill Level Easy by Michelle Wilcox, and a 4mm hook, and again this one's they're suggesting to use Red Heart Holiday, but again if you don't want to use it you don't need to. It goes straight into the pattern. It says that the bag measures 12 inches tall and 6 inches wide. And now I found this, which is just a little tiny bit of fun. Talking about the bottles, this is a Fa La 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 Reindeer bottle top by Nancy Anderson, and there's using Red Heart Super Saver and a 5mm hook, a stitch marker, stuffing, associated round coloured beads, small red pom-pom for the nose, small sew on wiggly eyes, some sewing thread, needle and yarn needle. And it says, cap off your bottle of Christmas cheer with this laughable reindeer bottle topper. Purchase trims, create eyes and nose, and colourful beads adorn his antlers for the happiest reindeer around. And the topper measures 5 inches. Isn't it cute? These things just make me smile, and this week I have needed some stuff to smile about, and when I was looking through the patterns I just thought, yep, that one's coming on the list because it just makes me smile. Okay, so now I have got a Jingle Bell hat. Now I had this in mind for things, well, obviously for children because it says children, but it also can be altered for adults in the sizes of the inside the parentheses, but I thought this one would be great fun for things if you're doing Christmas plays or just dressing up, anything like that, or if you're wacky enough to want to wear it out and about just for the sake of it, then good on you. But it's designed by Kathleen Sams, and the directions are for the children's size and changing for women's and men's in the parentheses, which is what I just said. The hat circumference is 18 inches, and then in the parentheses you've got 20 or 24, depending on whether it's medium or large, and it's saying to use Red Heart Fiesta or Red Heart Super Saver. It's a 5mm or a 5.5mm hook, and 3 jingle bells. The gauge is 12 stitches per 4 inches or 16 rounds in single crochet for the larger hook, that one is. Anyway, special abbreviations are just increasing and decreasing, and the hat is ribbing with a smaller hook for you chain 16. And then it explains about the increase points, and then you divide for the points to be able to make the the elf hat points. And again, this one was August 2019 as well. Weave in the ends and sew the jingle bells to the tips of the points and turn the ribbing up for the cuff. But I just thought it'd be quite fun, and just not too serious, you know. Now I've got some crochet bags for you to see. And now I think actually I did show these in Christmas in July, but again I came across them and I thought they've got to be shown. So if you didn't keep the patterns from when I did do it in August, then be sure to click the link and see. But look how cute these are, and how special it would be just to turn up to someone's house with some presents in such a wonderful bag. You'll definitely get some looks, even if it's not laughter. But I thought they were really, really cute. And these are made with Red Heart Super Saver and a 4mm hook. The skill level was easy, and this pattern was from June the 15th, 2021. It doesn't say the designer, but the measurements are approximately 12 by 12 by 8 inches, and the notes are: the chain 2 at the beginning of the row does not count as the half double crochet. Join all the rounds with a slip stitch to the first stitch. And it gives all the colours and things you need for each one. But that's all there is to say about it, because it's just literally one page. So I didn't have to decide which pages to show you out of the pattern. I like it when it's just one page. But I thought they were quite cute. And then last but not least today, my darlings, we have got Crochet Santa and Mrs Claus dolls. Now, I like these because I like the fact that he's in his long johns, and so is she, before she puts on her clothes to face the day, you know, to face the day in the North Pole. And the materials they're suggesting to use is lily, sugar and cream, and a 3.75mm hook. And then it gives you all the separate colours to use. And of course, like I say, if you don't want to use the sugar and cream, you can just use DK or anything else that you make your toys with. But I just thought I would show you those because I thought they were just quite quirky. I mean, my light's a bit rubbish, but I think they're quite cute. It does show that there's lots of holes in it actually, doesn't it, from the picture? But I suppose maybe it's just the yarn they were using or something, I don't know. But either way, I just thought I'd show you those because it's always good for me to have amigurumi. And I couldn't find anything else that struck my eye, so this will have to do this week. And hopefully I'll be back on top form again next week, and I will make more of an effort to try and work out lots of different things with different categories for you all. But that is the lot from me this week, and I will see you on Monday, no matter if I've made anything or not, because I'll draw the next squares. Anyway, take care of yourselves and spare some time for your loved ones, and do what makes you happy. Love to you all, my darlings, and I hope my phone hasn't played up really badly so this video is unwatchable. See you soon. Bye.